I think it's super easy to overestimate what we can get done in a day and underestimate what we can get done in a week. 13 intentional weeks back to back, my friend, that's one quarter. We can get a lot done in a quarter. Welcome, my friend. I'm Dana Renee, a business coach, systems strategist, and the host of The Quarter Co., which is a mastermind centered around community, accountability, and systems. We get things done. Your schedule is full, you're constantly working, but are you actually making progress on your goals? That is a question that we're going to be tackling today, as well how you can do that in the future. My favorite method of tackling goals is quarterly planning. So instead of focusing on 365 days of the year, we actually take a moment and we focus on a 90-day chunk. We have a much better idea what's going to happen in the next 90 days than what we think is going to happen in the next 365. So when we get laser focused on the 90 days, it actually gives us clarity and freedom. As entrepreneurs, we're wired to be dreamers. It's part of who we are. It's part of the fun of being an entrepreneur. But here's the thing. While I truly believe that you could do anything that you set your mind to, I don't think you can do everything. And so we are going to allow our yeses to be yes and our nos to be nos. And we're going to operate from a point of clarity to make sure that we are using our time wisely, that we are being good stewards so that we can make forward momentum and forward progress on specific items that are going to get us closer to our long-term goal without getting distracted by all the things to our left and to our right. In Proverbs, it says that where there's no vision, the people perish. And so I think it's wise as a business owner to take time to work on a 5-year target. So this is something that we're working towards. In the next 5 years, as everything goes according to plan with the things that we know and understand at this time, this is where we're working towards. So things that you can ask yourself when you're thinking about what is your 5-year target is, what type of clients do you want to work with? What type of revenue do you need to be bringing in? How much time do you want to be putting into business and more? So answer for yourself. What do you want your business to look like in the next 5 years? And take a moment and write that down. When we have a clear vision written out, then we have the opportunity to reverse engineer and start getting practical in the day-to-day. So the steps that you're doing on a random Tuesday afternoon, they actually make an impact because you know that they are tied to that 5-year target that you are working towards. That is the beauty of quarterly planning. There are 4 areas that we need to think about when we are getting ready to set our quarterly goals. Now, at the end of this video, I've got a friend that I'm excited to introduce you to. It is a GBT, a custom trained GBT, and her name is Edna. She's wonderful, and she is trained in quarterly planning, and she's going to help you break all of these things down into actionable steps, but we need to go ahead and put on some critical thinking before we can use that resource. There are 4 areas that we need your critical thinking on. First off, finances. How much money do you need to bring in? Now, are you the primary breadwinner? Does your family rely on your income? Or is it more supplemental, something fun that you're able to use to help take your family to Disney World? What is the number that you need to bring in a year or in a quarter in order to support your family and make ends meet? Now, what number would you like to bring in? I know it's easy to throw out some number and be like, I'd like to bring in 7 figures. But if we're being realistic and you're looking at numbers, what number is that you need to bring in? And then what number would you like to bring in? It should be one that gets you a little bit excited, but you're like, I feel like it's within reach, but it's going to take a little bit of extra work to get there. Time and schedule. Over the next 90 days, what do you already have on your calendar that you've committed to do? I hope there's some time away out of the office with family, some work commitments, things of this nature. Take note of what is written down. On an average week, how many hours a week do you have available to work? Let's say that you have 40 hours a week available to work, but you know that it takes you 25 hours a week simply to maintain your business, to handle communications, the day-to-day tasks. It takes 25 hours a week. We want to know how much time does that leave you. So in this case, in our example, that would be 15 hours a week that is available to work on something new or some kind of goal. We need you to figure out how much time that you have available in order to make wise decisions when we're setting your quarterly goals. Next up, we've got needs. So what needs to be addressed? Now, this could be something like every time I go to send an email, I'm having to write it from scratch. Well, maybe we need to work on writing some templates and getting some workflows and automations in place. Could it be your time management? Are you getting to the office and you're not sure what to do or how to use your time wisely? Does a day go by and you're not sure where it went? Let's think about areas where you are hitting roadblocks or finding frustration or things that you're trying to avoid, and take note of those things. Write those down because that may be an area that we need to address. Now, this one I think is every entrepreneur's favorites. Let's dream a little bit. What is it that you would like to do, like to offer, launch, or make available? Take a moment and jot down all of those ideas and dreams. Now that we've taken the time to consider these 4 areas that we need to keep in mind when we're setting our quarterly goals, we get to review them, evaluate, and choose our focus. Here's the thing. I really do believe that you could do anything you set your mind to, but you can't do everything. So what I want to encourage you to do is take a deep breath, and you're going to choose a couple of areas that you're going to focus on in your business. Now, I don't want you to do all the things. I want you to choose 1 to 2 areas that you're going to focus on. Here's a couple of ideas. It could be your client experience. It could be the systems on the back end of your business. It could be your time management, your financial revenue goals. It could be your marketing strategy. We're going to pick 1 or 2 areas and we're going to get laser focused on those. Now, under those 1 to 2 areas of focus, I want you to pick 3 to 5 goals that are going to move you forward in those areas. These 3 to 5 goals should be things that are going to stretch you, but you know that if you stay on task, you can get them done. Anything that you've written down that doesn't fall underneath those 2 areas of focus, those should be put on a dream list that you will get to come back to at a later point. Now, here's the magic of quarterly planning. It's not just in evaluating the things that we've talked about earlier, but in breaking them down into steps. And when I say steps, I mean tasks that you could get done in a single day. Now, Edna is going to be wildly helpful when it comes to breaking those down, but here's the thing. There are days that you are going to get in the office and you are going to feel on top of the world, ready to tackle the things. That is amazing. I encourage you to do it. Lean in, take on the big task. You can do it. There are going to be days that you get into the office when life has been a little extra heavy and things are hard. But we're going to reach for the low-hanging fruit. These are going to be easy items that you can check off that are going to give you a win, that's going to allow you to have a little bit of a hit of dopamine on that hard day that says, it's okay, boo. You're still making progress. You're moving in the right direction, and allow you to have grace for yourself that it's not a big lift day. Now, breaking down your goals, when we do it in advance, that keeps us from decision fatigue. It keeps us from getting to the office, being overwhelmed, not knowing what to do. It allows us to sit down with clarity, open up our task management system, and know exactly what to do that day. Decision fatigue is real. There's always something important that will be pulling at your time. But my friend, I want to encourage you that this is worth it. Meet Edna. The better input you give Edna, the better output you'll get from her. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to share this here, and we'll see what she has to say. Now, Edna was named after my grandmother with a little bit of a flair from Edna Mode, and so you'll see that come to life with her spicy takes and her input. Now, she's been trained to give you a to-do list where it is been broken down into bullet points, but she will also format things into a table if that is what you prefer, where you can ask her to put it in more of a calendar view. And she's going to think through the majority of the steps. However, she's not perfect. She's not a human. And so you'll have to use some critical thinking and think through what she is forgetting. So as I'm scrolling through here, you can see all the different things that she is sharing with us. She's giving a lot of good ideas. If I want even more from her, I can share things like my Instagram, my Facebook, my website. If you have a TikTok or things of that nature, you can share those as well with her. And she's able to give good input. She'll always encourage you at the end with some kind of love and shove, which will remind you of truth and keep you on track. And I hope that she serves you well. Thank you so much for joining me today as we talk about quarterly planning. I hope that it was a quick fix to get you going in the right direction. I know this is something we could spend hours talking about, but my hope and prayer is that with Edna by your side, that you can tackle the task at hand. Now, obviously, Edna is not perfect. You will have to use discernment on going back and forth with her, continuing to train her for your likes and dislikes. I would encourage you to share as much information with her as possible. Things like your website and social media. The more information that you give her, the better output that she will share with you. If you would like access to Edna, go ahead and click the link below, and I will be glad to share you a link so that you can add her into your business tool belt. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here today. My friend, I'm cheering for you, and I can't wait to see you in our next video.